Water is sacred. Water is life. This past week, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz signed an executive order banning copper-nickel mining in the Boundary Waters watershed area. This is important because Congress recently lifted that ban. This is an area that is considered sacred to many for its beauty and just huge volumes of clean water. So I made a short video thanking Governor Walz for doing this. And the response was definitely not what I expected. To date, the video has had more than 22,000 views on Facebook alone. It's had thousands of reactions, and it's had hundreds of comments. A majority of those comments have been overwhelmingly positive. But as you can imagine, there have been many comments that reflect some of just the very worst of humanity, full of racism, full of slurs against people with intellectual disabilities, filled with hate speech against Governor Walz and other state leaders and environmental leaders. It was also full of a lot of disinformation. And I want to be very clear here. In the history of copper-nickel mining, there has never not been a disaster. There has never not been a leak. There has never not been contamination of large areas of water. So I think we need to make that very clear, because many people seem to believe that this can be done safely for the water, and it cannot. It has not been proven that it can. And this hate speech, just in general, really saddens me. The way that it's become so corrosive to our discourse. But I want to focus on a few comments that really made me sad, and I think actually exemplifies where a lot of the problem is. Comments that say things like sacredness has a specific meaning and a body of water can't be considered sacred. How can water be sacred? I don't think those people have been to the Boundary Waters wilderness. I'm not sure they've been to some of these places, these sacred places where water is such a beautiful part of the place. Water isn't sacred? We know that water is the fundamental substance that allows all life as we know it to exist. Carbon-based life, at least. We know that all life depends on water to survive. Water is sacred, and it has sacred functions in nearly every spiritual tradition on earth. In the creation story of Genesis, the water was there before anything else. Even ancient people knew that water had to be there first. And the Spirit flew over the water. That was the first act of creation. In the Christian tradition, Jesus is baptized in the Jordan by John the Baptist. A voice from God comes down in the story and tells people that this is my son who I am well pleased. Jesus walked on water in the stories. Water became a continual part of that tradition. And in the church today, water is used for baptism. Catholics, on entering a church, usually purify themselves or center themselves using holy water when they enter their sacred space. So many songs in the Christian tradition, particularly many spirituals, focus on water. Shall we gather at the river? I'm just going over Jordan. The Ganges River in India is one of the most holy places to Hindus. It is the place where life stems from. It is the place where millions of pilgrims come every year to bathe, to ritually cleanse, to wash away their sins. Families scatter the ashes of their loved ones there, if at all possible. If they can't, they will scatter them in another river. That river is sacred. Not only is it holy, but it is a place of the ancestors, and it is a place to reconnect with ancestors. In Buddhism, calm water is the central metaphor to reflect a calm mind. Flowing water embodies the reality of our impermanence of all things, that all of life is flowing and changing. And it's a sacred reminder to be in the moment. And in mindfulness, which comes from Buddhism, we think about our thoughts passing by us as they would in a stream. Being in the moment and letting them go. And to our indigenous siblings, everything is connected. Everything is a relative. And all living creatures are our relatives. Water is the lifeblood of Mother Earth. The health of the waters directly relates to the health of the people and the community. In many traditions, water is treated and thought of as being alive. Water represents the connectedness of all things through the cycles of life. Water is the connectedness of all things. And what we do to water, we do to all our living relatives, today and well into the future. Water is life. There's a very wise Ojibwe gentleman who goes by the social media handle Standing Bear Network. I was watching one of his recent videos when he pointed out that not only do we honor our ancestors, but that we, right here, right now, in this moment, are ancestors. We will be the ancestors of all of the generations who come after. And what kind of ancestors are we going to choose to be? Ones who allowed the destruction of a watershed, a pristine watershed that flows through beautiful wilderness all the way to Lake Superior? For what? Less than 800 temporary jobs? Will we destroy all of these places of beauty and all these places that sustain life? Will we destroy those for future generations? Will we trust those future generations to a company that has a long list of environmental crimes and corruption? Will we turn clean, safe water into a health hazard for millions of people, as the Mayo Clinic and the University of Minnesota have suggested? 40 to 50 million people could be affected by contamination. Because as we know, water doesn't stay in one place. It flows. Are we willing to poison our future descendants? Is that the kind of ancestors we want to be? The choice is ours. And may we choose to protect our land and waters. May we be good ancestors and good relatives to all beings. May we walk in beauty by recognizing that water is life and water is sacred.